You know, I don't want to like get too much into the video, and a lot of the stuff that, you know, you said, I felt so good to hear, because, you know, I was like, yes, we're doing it safely. This is so good, because no one taught me how to do this. But, you know, but from experience and out of love, you know, out of care, I was able to understand it, you know, which bones to start and which bones to avoid. And in which cases we need to like stay away from it completely. But you know, I know you love them, and I know you love how dogs, you know, spend time on it. Can you just like explain to us from your perspective, like what this bone provides to a dog? You know, like it's so much more than minerals. You know.
That's great. It's a really nice question. Thank you. So, what do bones provide to dogs? Bones provide, so the obvious thing is they provide, so we're starting at the front. Okay, so they provide entertainment and distraction to the dog. Yeah, you might watch a movie or go for a walk or go for a swim in the sea to chill out. Dogs, apart from eating and going for a walk, one of the things that they really love to do, which gives them some chill out time, is gnawing on a bone. Okay, so it's very good. So psychologically, it's very good. Bones will also clean the teeth. Bones, when they're chewed up, will turn into kind of like sand, which then goes through the gut and has like a sandpaper effect on the inside of the gut, which is very healthy. Humans use fiber, vegetables and fruit and all this goodness to keep the gut clean and bright and fresh, but dogs use bone in the same way. The bony material helps to provide a really good quality stool when it comes out the end, so that it's easy to pick up. Remember, 2 fingers. If you can't pick it up with 2 fingers, you need to look at the diet. It will also, because if you get a good stool, you get a good squeeze on the anal glands, and that's really important, because otherwise you can get anal gland problems, which is a real pain. With all dogs, but especially with puppies, it will provide a lot of exercise along this front, the neck and the jaw and the whole front of the body. And so there's an exercise element there. You can also, when they're, because you know what they do, they go like this to, I should have a little bone, shouldn't I, here too? It stimulates the brain, stimulates thinking. Right, here's a bone, how am I going to eat it? Right. So it helps with that, and kind of coordination of the front limbs and the head and the brain and what have you. Also, and this is more than I even put in the video, this is lots of things that are coming into my brain. If you're stimulating the mouth and you're keeping the teeth clean by chewing on bones, you're going to have a much more healthy oral microbiome. And you need a really healthy oral, mouth microbiome, because this is the beginning of your digestive tract. Yeah, starts here, ends down there, and so this has to be in good shape. Your oral microbiome has to be in good shape, and that's what bones allow us to do. People say, "Oh, well, I brush my dog's teeth," and that's okay, but most dogs won't let you brush the inside, not the outside. The outside's quite easy to do, brushy, brushy, brush. But most dogs won't let you brush on the inside, and therefore you're probably not brushing 40% of the tooth surface. So I have to doubt whether toothbrushing is as useful as it might be. What I can guarantee though is that if dogs are eating a variety of bones, softer bones and firmer bones, that they will be cleaning all aspects of the teeth. The only place that they won't sometimes clean with bones is just on the the canine there, the canine in the mouth of your canine. Yeah, just at the top of that sometimes, because in the good old days when they were roaming in packs on the savannah, when they chewed on fur, that would clean that. And most domestic dogs nowadays don't chew on fur very much. You can get fur, you know, because skins that they don't use for leather, they from the factory, they can just dry those, and they make very very good things to chew, and you get a lot of manganese from the fur, for example. Okay, so there you go. That's a very long answer to a very simple question of what else can bones do. Bones can do an awful lot, and therefore, if you're not feeding bones, do take advice and gradually ease your dog, educate your dog into eating bones. I go through it on my video, but there are other places that you can, you know, talk to Nav. She'll teach you how to do it as well. So the most important thing is get those bones into the dog. Start with the softer bones like chicken carcasses, duck carcasses, turkey carcasses, and then gradually each month get into bigger and firmer bones. And I would say avoid shaft bones, yeah, leg bones, long, these bones here. This type of joint is okay, this type of joint is okay, but the mid shaft they tend to be kind of brittle. So unless the dog is very experienced with bones, I would say avoid leg shaft bones. Pigs trotters, very good.
Oh,
because they're pretty soft. They're pretty soft, and the animals tend to be pretty young, and so the bones are quite soft.
yes. There's a question about if someone's dog swallowed a whole turkey neck and threw up straight after 8 hours, and they ended up in a vet. Like she's asking, how can I educate my dog to eat bones? And obviously,
Yeah.
Please
good question.
go.
Okay, so what I would do in that scenario, it depends how big the dog is. Do you know how big the dog is?
No, it doesn't say. But I think it's small. Yeah, no, it doesn't say.
Okay.
No.
So the first thing is the dog has got to be eating raw food, okay? Because then the stomach has got good digestive power, it's really low pH, and the proteases start to be activated. So that's the first thing. If you're feeding kibble, do not feed the bony materials, okay? So number one, raw. Number two, you start. Let me just take you through how to educate a dog. It's in the video, but I'm going to tell you anyway. When we were educated, we had primary school, then we had secondary school, then we have college or your apprenticeship or what have you. Yeah, it's like 1, 2, and 3. That's how we do it with dogs. Okay, so primary school, baby school, you give big, soft bones like turkey, duck, chicken carcasses. Perfect. Okay, they're big, so they can't swallow them. You give them whole, so that they chew them and they determine the size of the particles that go into their mouth. Yeah, never ever chop bony material into little bits. Okay, always give it as big as you can material. Okay, because then they choose how big the thing they swallow. Okay, that's really important. So you start soft, and then you graduate to something a little bit more chewy, like a turkey neck, duck neck, a chicken wing, a beef rib, something like that. And then after that, you would graduate onto knuckle bones or shoulder bones, mandible, skull, anything but leg bones. Really,
and
is the easiest.
You guys need to go ahead and watch that video. It's so fun to, I just love watching your videos with my furry friends. I'm really a geek about this, and it's just like so trustworthy to hear it from you. And I just don't want to do the work all again, like right here, because you have already explained it and I loved it. And, you know, we have another question if you want to, like, answer
Okay.
for
Let's round out. Yeah, let's round out the hour. Let's go an hour.
Yeah. Let's do an hour? Okay. I mean, we're so thankful, Dr. Nick. But thank you. Sky Girl asks, what bones are appropriate for flat-faced, peak-faced kitties? If you've answered in the video, we can, you know.
Yeah, I would go with carcasses for those guys. They're a bit softer because they've got this much jaw. You know, they got. How can I do it? They've got. Yeah, the average dog is like this. Yeah, and they have these guys. They have that in a much smaller area, so they're not as good at chewing. So I'd stay down in primary school with the chicken carcasses, duck carcass, and do you know what a carcass is? Basically, if you have a chicken, you take the breasts off, you take the legs and the wings off, and what you've got left is a chicken carcass. Okay, and in the UK. They used to give them away. I'm sure in Turkey you're much more clever and people buy them and make soup and stock and beautiful things like that. But over here they used to give them away. But nowadays, now that there's so many more people raw feeding, I think that they charge you, I don't know, like 50 cents or something for a chicken carcass. So it's pretty cheap food.
It's pretty cheap food. I always recommend that too for, you know, people who are feeding a lot of stray cats. Chicken carcasses are the best, you know.
Yeah, that's good. And they'll have really, really clean teeth, those guys, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and have fun too. And so we're rounding up. Should I keep on with the questions? I'm just confirming.
Yeah, I do. We've got another 4 minutes until 5, so that's cool.
Okay, 4 minutes. We have a good question here. It's just off topic, but it's about fish. Can we please answer that? Can dogs have sardines for omega-3?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a very, very, very good idea. I love the question. Thank you for whoever asked that. So I love sardines, okay? Sardines for dogs is absolutely brilliant. And here's how you use sardines. You can either use them raw with the head and the tail still on. You gut them. That's my sign for gutting, all right? You gut them, yeah? But they're like this, yeah? And you go, you gut them, okay? And you have to freeze them. They have to be in the freezer for at least a week, okay? You then take them out, defrost, give to dog with tail and head and everything. When you give dark brown type fish, yeah, oily fish like that, it's a good idea to use a little bit of brewer's yeast because they contain a thiaminase which breaks down one of the B vitamins, and so you add a little bit of extra B vitamin and it's delicious. Brewer's yeast is very, very healthy, good for your liver, helps keep fleas away, you know, you can't go wrong. So with fresh sardines, great, go for it. Cheap, lovely, beautiful, really, really amazing. So they can have one every day, one every morning for breakfast if you like. The other way of feeding sardines is with sardines in a tin. So over here they're really cheap. You can buy a tin for like 40 cents or something. Very, very cheap. Okay, yeah, 40 pence over here. But I'm translating it. Are you in euros over there?
Yes.
You are euros. Okay, there you go. 40 cents, 60 cents, cheap. And what's really useful about these is that you can keep them in the cupboard. Yeah, 10 of these, so that when you forget to get the food out of the freezer, you've got something to feed the dog. Yay! Okay, Yay. You can just feed that on its own, even without even any vegetables or anything. That's absolutely fine for one meal. They contain lots of tiny little bones, and therefore they're good source of calcium, very good source of omega-3, and yeah, there's no real downside to tinned or fresh sardines. Very, very delicious. Some dogs don't like them though, so if you give sardines and the dog goes, oh, I'm not a walrus, I'm not a seal at the park, then that's just it. You know, Try something else. Try something else. It's one of those things.
I'm not a seal.
I'm a seal. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hilarious as
Hilarious.
always.
Okay, so there you go. Tuna is okay, but it's just pure protein. There's not that much goodness in it. Sardines, full of goodness. Full of goodness.
Sardines full of goodness. We're ending on that note because the questions again are coming in. Thank you so much for the interest. Yeah, a lovely question was popping up about yeast. We should get more into that.
Which yeast? Yeast.
Yeast. You know,
Ah, yeah. Okay. Well, let's make that the first one next time. Let's meet again in a month if you like.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
I
That's
would
great.
love it, Nick. I would love it. Let's just keep on going with this
Great.
and make it a tradition. And we'll get the notes out and I'll put the links up. Thank you for having us.
It's a
And
pleasure.
would you like to say anything as an ending note for the Turkish community? Yeah.
Oh,
We love you.
I'm going to say greetings to everybody in Turkey. I cannot wait to come over to meet you all, to see you, to eat some beautiful Turkish food and drink some beautiful Turkish coffee. And I'm so looking forward to that. And to meeting you and meeting your dogs will be great. Can't wait. Much love.
Can't wait. It'll be a blast. Thank you again, Dr. Nick. It's always amazing to have you here in your guidance. You're our leader, and we love
Bless you. Bless you. Thank you so much. Now, it's an absolute pleasure. You're doing great work there. Greetings to everybody, and thank you very much. Little Princess says, will this be recorded? I think it will, yeah?
Definitely. You know, inshallah,
Okay.
we say, I'm just going to record it and put it up and hopefully get the Turkish subtitles again because this was amazing. So informative. I agree.
Cool.
Thank you, Nick. Say hi
Great.
to the Thompson family.
Absolutely,
See you in a month.
and to your sister and to your parents, all the very, very best to the whole family and to the dogs.
Of course, we all love you, furry and human people.
Fabulous. It's great
Love
to
from
see
Istanbul.
you.
You too.
It's great to see you, Naz. Keep up the good work. And
You too.
goodbye, and thank you to everybody.
I appreciate it, Dr. Nick. See you in a month. I'll text you about the information. See you soon.
Ciao.
Bye. Katıldığınız için çok teşekkür ederim. Mümkün olursa inşallah videoyu kaydedeceğim ve daha sonrasında da Türkçe altyazılarıyla birlikte paylaşacağım. Gerçekten çok fazlasıyla bilgi aldığımız acayip güzel bir soru cevap oldu. Soruları yetiştirmekte güçlük çektim. Birkaç sorumuz kaldı. Her zamanki gibi yine sonraya saklarız. Tekrar gündemimize getiririz. Nick'in kemikle ilgili yeni çıkardığı yine 1-1,5 saatlik bir video var. İzlemenizi tavsiye ediyorum. Bir veteriner hekimin ağzından neden kemik yedirmeliyiz? Bunu dinlemek bence çok güzel ve aydınlatıcı olabilir. Daha sonrasında da yine tekrardan görüşüp konuşabiliriz. Sohbetler devam edecek. Canlı yayınları tabii ki çok özlemişim. Umarım sizin için de çok faydalı olmuştur. Tüylü dostlarımıza çok sevgilerimizi, selamlarımızı tüm ekipten ben iletiyorum. Sizlere tekrar görüşmek üzere. Güle güle.
I had to go on a desert island and I had to take one